Well, and now it's my turn to invite Mr. Kevin Gibbs of X-Chief. Please come on stage. We have a great story from him about how he got in. Well, welcome him. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Good to be here.
Thank you for having me.
So, you're a senior presentation expert, but
That's right.
you do much more than presentations. So we're here at Forex Expo Dubai, but you told me your first encounter with the trading world was with a different asset.
Yeah, very different in actual fact. So I discovered Bitcoin when I was 18, but unfortunately my father didn't believe in it. So that didn't work well.
Generational difference.
Yes. But I discovered that, and I was very interested in the ability of cryptocurrencies. And for years I studied that afterward. And then as an adult, because I don't consider an 18-year-old adult, as an adult I went into proofreading, video creation, public speaking, and then I got into a Forex company and realized that Forex trading is very interesting as well, commodities and so forth. So then I started amassing experience in that as well.
Yeah, when I get back a bit to Bitcoin, what is it that you liked about it at the beginning? What fascinated you about Bitcoin?
Well, I was really curious about anything different in those days. And I had the idea that this is so different from the mainstream way of handling money that I thought this has to have potential. It's just there's no other question. And unfortunately, I didn't act on it. Sometimes acting on your intuition is a good idea.
Yeah, I think many here also, I mean, even people like me who are not into Bitcoin always say, I should have got there in time.
Yes.
I missed it. That was such a mess. So that got you into trading, and you mentioned that you gradually discovered it more and more. And
yes.
How did you get into Forex?
Well, actually, I discovered after Bitcoin DeFi, decentralized finance.
Oh.
Basically the gambling of crypto, as it were.
Oh.
And then somebody suggested that I should maybe look at Forex, which might be a little bit safer. So I went into that and started looking at it and realized that, yes, this definitely has potential. And I started studying that and got myself to work in Forex as well.
Yeah, so between Bitcoin and you mentioned DeFi, which is more gambling, and Forex, do you see, I mean, people have a different mindset? Are these different audiences? Or?
Very different. Crypto DeFi is mostly in Discord, Telegram. I say Twitter, but nowadays it's X, but I'm a Twitter man. In those, and oftentimes you see a very large variety of differences in the investors. So in Forex, yes, you have your beginner investors, yes, you have your mid-tier, high-tier, and so forth. But in crypto DeFi, it goes from what they call themselves degens, which is degenerate, which is entirely gambling, to slightly more affluent people or more, well, I would say intelligence. And actually, it requires a lot of intelligence to navigate the DeFi world's degen part 2. But more those who are interested in finding out why something works, how it works, having a utility. And you can see a clear difference in communication. So these people who are more interested in utility will ask, when were you founded? What are your ideas? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Sort of more like a venture capital interviews a startup.
Of. Yeah. Or then they would ask maybe like, okay, I can see how many investors you have because of, cryptocurrencies you can see from the blockchain, but how much money is being held by the inventors of the token and so forth, while the degenerates, as they call themselves, basically just say when launch, which is when are you launching, or when buyback. So they have purposefully bad English. And to me, that doesn't actually mean that their English is bad. It means that they are extremely impatient. can't bother to write a full sentence when launched. And you want an answer immediately. So when a person who's actually interested in long-term goals asks a question, they often wait for a day or two before they reiterate the question. In the gambling part of DeFi, it's 2 or 3 minutes, and then they will say, "Where admin?" So it's really fast-paced. And that actually, oddly enough, is partially what you do see in some Forex even. Because it can be fast-paced. Not in the same way, but you have scalping and all that. So it's sort of like a mirror image with added gambling in it and lack of patience, which is the opposite of Forex.
So in Forex, you see people who are more patient. You mentioned, are they more mature? Are they of a bit older age, or more, or better said, do they have more experience in trading?
That's an interesting question. You would have to sort of define what mature actually means, because you can be psychologically mature or physically. Crypto, particularly the DeFi world, does have a lot of youngsters. We're talking about 18 to 30, max around 40 is quite usual. If you go over 40, you're considered old in DeFi.
I'm old for DeFi.
And I have seen some 15, even 12-year-olds who shouldn't be there. But that's what you get in DeFi, because you don't always have to KYC, unlike, of course, in Forex trading. So in that sense, yes, they would not usually be more mature in Forex. But DeFi, it sort of requires a different type of mindset when you go into the more utility kind, because you need to do so much research. Like, you don't really need to do research on is USD or Euro a safe thing. Technically, you know it is. But in crypto, you have to do a lot of research if you don't want to be scammed, because approximately, depending on the studies, approximately 99.5% of DeFi is scam.
Oh, wow.
So you have to be pretty good at navigating the whole area, because you will lose your money. So in that sense, it requires a very different type of intelligence. So mature is a bit of a difficult term to use here.
I see. Okay, that's quite a thing. And getting into Bitcoin, DeFi, and then Forex helped you realize that there are differences between the audiences, and also differences in communication, how people communicate.
Definitely. Vast differences. Partially that could be because of what we already pointed out, that people tend to be younger in crypto. And particularly in the past 10 years, the vocabulary used by younger population has skyrocketed in its change. Like, for instance, I have 2 children. Sometimes I can't understand them. They use words that I have no idea what that means. So in that sense, communication can be partially different because of that, but partially, as I said, because of the difference in patience, and actually also because of the difference in safety if you're in the more degenerate part, because you don't really have to think about, like, let's take Apple, for instance. Sure, it can fall down. Sure, even if something amazing happens, it might die out, but you will see the signs. It's not going to happen like this usually. But in crypto, FTX, famous.
Oh yeah.
Boom. For instance, for me, I lost 90% overnight because of FTX in the things that I had in crypto. Boom.
Wow.
So that doesn't happen in Forex. So you have to have a special mindset. You have to sort of either cry and fall asleep, or you have to accept, like in crypto, you have to accept losses, but you just have to accept that, okay, I really over-risked myself. That those are brutal lessons. And because of that, there's immense fear in some crypto. And that is one of the reasons why they ask, is there no admin here? Because they're thinking, oh my goodness, is my money going to go away? So it's a very different mindset.
I see. At FX Street Premium, we use focused on Forex and commodities, and we use the Discord community, which I understand is now one of the biggest things in communities of traders.
Yes.
We provided some insights about differences between DeFi, Bitcoin, Forex. Are there also different mediums of communication in terms of some use Discord, some use Telegram, some use other, or is it all?
Well, I think a while ago it was much more that crypto would use Telegram and Discord and Twitter. But I think actually, in my opinion, brokers are starting to use Twitter more. LinkedIn is definitely a big thing. Less so in crypto, but in the more higher tier crypto, LinkedIn is also a thing, definitely. But Forex is, I think, starting to realize that a lot of the youth especially, they spend their time in Discord and Telegram. So you need to be where your clients are. But of course, also we use a lot of emails, we use applications, like the application for this place. So those will not be used normally in crypto. Very few cryptocurrencies have an email where you would send anything. It's Telegram or Discord, basically.
Email is more for Forex, I guess, or for older people above 40. Okay, so you got into more of, I mean, we talked about communications, you got into more into communications, and also that led you to dive more deeply into the psychology of traders.
Yes, so I'm actually planning in a year's time to studying to be a psychologist in Finland. So psychology is something that's a lot interesting for me. And what I've noticed is, as I said, fear is definitely one, lack of patience, and that's why I think a lot of crypto traders would benefit from trading on Forex, because you start realizing, okay, my money didn't go down minus 50% over one night. I don't have to be that afraid. So it can sort of slow you down. And then you can make you think, okay, is it worth me chasing that fix from the crypto? Or is it maybe worth for me trading with a little bit less earning potential, but far less risk? Of course, the same applies more for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those bigger ones. But I sort of equate those almost to Forex because they're so big already. But definitely would be, in my opinion, psychologically beneficial for people to transition a bit more to Forex. But maybe it would also be beneficial for Forex traders to try the other side, so that they can like learn from their mistakes maybe even more. Because if you lose 5% in Forex, it might be a lot of money, but you'll make that back most likely if you trade well. In DeFi crypto, you're not going to lose 5%. It's going to be 5 and 0 very easily. So then you start realizing, okay, I really, really overplayed this hand. Pull back. And I think that's something a lot of crypto traders cannot do, but Forex traders can, because they have that mentality already.
I see. Well, in general, I think for anybody at any company doing somebody else's job, or shadowing that other person, can give you insights about
definitely
different perspectives, different markets. In an earlier panel here, people talked about very well-known psychological phenomenon in markets, in trading, which is taking revenge on markets.
Yes.
And even, do you think that there's a difference here between different players of this taking revenge, or does it drop off with age? What do you think?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think it might have something to do with age, definitely, particularly young men. We tend to be more risk takers, generally speaking. Yes, you see it in car accidents and so forth. But also it depends on how you've trained your brain. So if you all the time look at the cell phone, you're all the time in social media, everything's a quick fix. So then in trading, you might go for the quick fixes, which is the quick crypto going plus 50% one day, and well, the opposite as well. But that's a quick fix. So that is also maybe why older people do tend to be a bit better at trading, even if they don't have that much experience, because they haven't grown up in the culture where they use cell phones all the time. So sort of they haven't trained their brain for it in a way.
Yeah. With your experience in seeing the psychology of traders, would you recommend traders to some restrictions, some putting the phone on Zen mode or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, so I personally like to put, like, for the most distracting things, a maximum timer per day for myself. and then my cell phone usually shuts off at 9 at night, so that I can calm myself down for the night, because we all know if you're tired the next day, you're not going to make good trades.
Yeah, you're not productive when you're tired. Yeah.
Exactly. And another thing that you could try is the Pomodoro technique. So you trade for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break, go for a walk, do a bit of exercising, something. You sort of like zone out of it, and then you come back with a fresh mind, fresh eyes. Because then you might think, okay, I'm going to maybe do the trade later on. Then you go and do something else, then you come back and go, I didn't even see that. No, I'm not going to do that trade. That's a bad idea, because you're more fresh.
Yeah, you're more fresh, and the things that you've seen before, they have time to sink in and put yourself away. My experience with the Pomodoro technique is that I stopped the watch and returned back to my old habits. So maybe there should be some kind of a psychological trick to, well, or it takes probably time to get into this discipline.
2 weeks at least for new habits to come and to become actually habits. But one thing that you pointed out there, which is very interesting actually, I don't know if you even realized that you pointed that out, but you tend to go back to your old habits.
Yes.
Now it could be because the habit is so strong, but it could also be because of the addiction. So when we use the phone a lot or do other multitasking, it creates stress, but it actually can also create your brain to feel rewarded somehow. That you feel like, oh, there's a new message. Oh, that one liked my message. And oh, I just won in this game. And it's the quick fixes I talked about. So Pomodoro is the exact opposite. You concentrate on one thing for 25 minutes. That can be incredibly difficult if you're used to getting a new thing every 5 seconds. So it may take much longer than the 2 weeks. It might take you 2 weeks to get used to the fact that now your new habit is using Pomodoro. But to actually acclimatize your brain to do it sort of automatically, where you might not even need an app anymore, might take a very long time. And it might not even be feasible. You might always have to sort of say, okay, Kevin, now it's a break time.
Yeah, habits are super strong. But at least we know that we have to give it at least 2 weeks before we move on to...
At least, yes. And if the habit is too difficult, so for instance, if you are used to having every 5-10 seconds something new, 25 minutes may be too long. So then you do a modified Pomodoro. You might do 5 minutes of work, 2 minutes of break. And when that feels okay, 10 minutes and 5 minutes and so forth. So then you sort of grow your tolerance.
Oh, I see. And another technique I heard of is having an accountability partner.
Yes.
And trading, I don't know how many of you trade alone or do you trade in a community, but do you think it's also this technique could help traders?
Definitely. Accountability is always a good thing. We need both intrinsic and extrinsic valuation for what we do. So intrinsic is that, hey, I did really well. I used a lot of time for this. Not necessarily I actually won, I got the trade right, because that's not praising your effort. That's praising that you were right. Praising your effort that, look, I've studied for a year, and now for the past 10 trades, they have been perfect, which means the work I have done was good. I should praise myself for the work. So that is one thing, and then the accountability comes into play where your friend praises you for that. Again, not for your success, but for the effort that has taken you to that success.
The effort of sticking to the plan.
Exactly. And even if the success actually wasn't what you expected, let's say you would hope to win 5%, but actually what happens is you realize this is going to go down and you leave the trade at 0. That is a success because you realized it's going to go down. You didn't get your original idea, but you got a success. And that means that whatever you've done that far has worked. Your brain is starting to figure out the charts or the people's opinions. So in that case, you should again praise yourself. A lot of people, they act negatively if their main goal isn't achieved, but that just makes more negativity. And that's like, if you have accountability, a partner, that partner should never give you negativity about what went wrong, only constructive criticism. And there's a difference. So let's say you trade badly. You should have stopped the trade. Then why didn't you do that? It's obvious. Does that make you feel good? No. Does that make you a better trader?
Not constructive. Yeah.
No, not at all. Did you notice that actually that pattern was there already many times and it followed the same and it dropped once and it came back down and you still didn't sell it? So you didn't actually take note of those, but you know these things because you've told me you know these things. So next time, pay a little bit more attention and you would have got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think an accountability partner is first and foremost helpful for seeing you, making you, the trader, being heard, and that can help balance things.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, we talked a lot about trader psychology. It's a super important topic, of course. We know that there's the execution, the planning, but then there's the risk management, and then the psychology, which is huge. If there's something you want our audience, one takeaway you want our audience to get out of this room with, what would that be? Your message?
One thing. The one thing would be that no matter what it is that you are looking for, because we are client-centric, you always ask us, always contact us, and we will see if we don't have what you're looking for, how we can implement it.
I see. Yeah. So that human touch, that customer support, I think, is something that you want to emphasize. Yeah, I hear you very well. Also, what we're doing at FX Street Premium is engaging with the community, something we don't offer our regular clients, and that makes a difference. I think even in this age of AI, humans, with all respect to AI, human psychology hasn't changed.
Nope.
And giving support as always to the clients, whichever clients you have, bigger accounts, smaller accounts, in their language, and is critical. Okay, so don't think we have any time for questions, but which booth are you at?
Booth 18, right in front of the entrance.
Okay, that's easy to find.
Yes.
Yeah, I know met you before. I know you're working very hard there, and it's a huge conference. I'm having a lot of fun, and this was also lots of fun, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
So, Kevin Gibbs from X-Chief, big round of applause.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
And please do come to our booth to ask any questions you have.
In line with everything we said right here. Okay, I guess that's it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.